Welcome. Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So, good morning. Welcome to another market open stream. And it's looking pretty darn good today. We are starting out the day strong. Bitcoin is rallying, and so is many different crypto. But what's driving it? Well, we got several big news rumors about Meta and Zuck and Trump, and also we got some inflation readings. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what is going on and why it's looking good. All right, let's do it, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are starting out the day with Bitcoin right around $97,000. Hey, was it just a day ago when we fell down to 89,000 or 90,000 live on air? I think it was just yesterday. I told you guys, hey, do not panic. Okay, this is normal. Wall Street tends to overreact, but continue to course and hold on DCA. And now we are coming back up. And it's looking pretty good. We got the momentum back. We got some good economic data. And we got some pretty big news for Meta. And besides that, many other things. So the U.S. market is starting out in the green, finally. Yesterday was in the red. And same thing with Monday. But yeah, and that's due to this. We got PPI inflation reading. Wholesale prices rose only 0.2% in December versus the expected 0.4%. So that's pretty good. Whatever you have inflation readings or economic data that comes in below consensus at this point in time is good because, again, everyone's worried about inflation. Everyone does not want to see inflation go up, and many on Wall Street fear that, hey, if Americans are not poor and have a bunch of money, then inflation's going to go up because they're going to start buying things again, right? So this is good. This is the first piece of inflation data that we got. But tomorrow, we will get another one that may be even bigger, CPI reading, okay? But this gives you a good idea of what's to come. And we got jobless claims and manufacturing data and all these other stuff that's coming out this week. But at this point in time, weakness with economic data is actually good for markets. Okay. Right now, we, in 15 days? 2 weeks, we will get another FOMC meeting. It's pretty much baked in that we will not get another rate cut this month. But next month, or no, 2 months after that, in March, we will get another FOMC meeting. And right now, it's like 21% to 78%. So if tomorrow's inflation actually shows, again, less than expected, and some of the manufacturing data comes in less than expected, then this 21.6% can definitely start rising up. Maybe it become 50-50, and then that'll be pretty good overall. Okay, that's what we want to see. Well, that's what Wall Street wants to see. And I guess overall, as Americans, we want to see that too. We want to see the rates come down, okay? And then the money starts swirling, the liquidity injection happens, and that's awesome all around, right? And we know in 7 days, the inauguration is going to happen. And you know who's becoming buddies with President Trump? I think you guys all know. Okay. Mr. Zuckerberg has done a complete 180 ever since he realized that Trump is the next president again. Facebook, aka Meta, was one of the first platforms to censor Trump in the last election, and now he's just like, you know what, screw that. You know, I better cozy up to Trump for the next 4 years. So he's been meeting with him a lot. And this was a big deal that came out last week when Meta and Mark decided to say, "Hey, we're just not gonna do fact checking anymore." This is all due to the Trump influence. Now, what else is going on is this, and I really think this could happen. I know it didn't happen for Microsoft, but because of how pro Mark is with Trump and I think many discussions or many meetings or whatever phone calls they had, right? Mark is not oblivious that Trump is going to make Bitcoin a strategic reserve. He's not oblivious to that. Meta has tens of billions of dollars. In fact, $72 billion in liquid assets. Like many other tech giants, like Microsoft and Google and Amazon, these companies have tens of billions of dollars sitting there and they don't know what to do with it. So investors, shareholders, advisors are all telling Mark to get in Bitcoin, right? Not that he needs to be any richer. He's already like the fifth richest person on the planet. But if Meta decides to announce that, hey, we're going to start buying Bitcoin with our cash pile, this will cause a cascading effect. It's kind of like what we want to see with Microsoft, but Microsoft shareholders are a bit too conservative still for Bitcoin. I think Meta can be actually the first tech giant to do so, especially looking at all the moves that Zuck has been doing recently, trying to cozy up with, of course, Trump and making all the moves to, especially this is also something that's coming out because, well, I mean, this is all like timed perfectly because we know TikTok is about to shut down, right? And then, of course, who benefits the most? IG does. And this also has a lot to do with that. However, the latest rumor is that China has okayed for TikTok to be sold to Elon. So if that happens, that's crazy. Then he owns X and TikTok, and man, that'd be absolutely insane. All right. Anyways, moving outside of Meta, though, I really think this is going to happen as soon as Trump takes office and announces a strategic reserve is happening. I really think that in the near future, Zuck will say, well, we support it and we're going to do it ourselves. That would actually not be surprising at all. And that could be as soon as next week after inauguration. But outside of Meta, we know that, hey, besides companies, we got countries. So here's a good list. I always talk about this, and we already know US, we know China and Russia, right? But what about some of these others? Brazil is also in the works. And then you got like Switzerland, you got Germany, Japan, Venezuela, Hong Kong, Poland, South Africa. You got so many. We're talking about countries now that are looking to embrace Bitcoin. I mean, how can you ignore Bitcoin at this point, right? There's no way you can ignore Bitcoin. Thailand, another country, right? And then, Japan, they have many, many companies now that are following in Saylor's footsteps. Remix Point buys another 33.3 Bitcoin. We got Metaplanet. I haven't heard about them recently, but they're over 1,000 Bitcoin. I mean, you got the FOMO train hitting on all cylinders right now. Okay, so it's looking pretty darn good. That's why, again, I've been saying dips are gifts. Even yesterday when it started out, it was like, oh my God, it seemed like the world was falling. It wasn't. Okay, we get shakeouts. We get market manipulation. We get overreaction due to inflation news. It happens. We even had like black swan events before, right? Bitcoin does not care it moves forward, and that's why you don't want to miss out. Here, you got a Italian bank that's going to be purchasing or investing in Bitcoin. Purchase of 11 Bitcoin was confirmed after a leaked email, right? See, this is the thing. Not every company is so forthcoming in announcing that they purchased Bitcoin. Some are still hiding it because they still think it's a little taboo or something, right? So this actually came out after a leaked email came out. So bottom line is there are more companies and financial institutions that hold Bitcoin than we even know. There are so many that probably has been acquiring, including countries like China, who's probably taking a cut from all the Bitcoin miners, and Russia now going to do the same thing. You just don't know. You just don't know. And of course, El Salvador and President Bukele, they kind of let it with countries, and he has close to like $500 million in Bitcoin and continues to push forward with the Bitcoin City, Volcano, now committed to installing Bitcoin node in every home. I mean, it's going nuts. It's going nuts. And CZ likes to remind everyone, if you ever had a thought that like, oh, I should have bought more, or I should have held, or I should have bought, the dip, or I should have ignored a FUD and listened to George, you know what? That's the past. If you made those mistakes, move past them and learn from them, right? Listen. Know that dips, volatility, all the things that may cause day-to-day crashes or dumps or whatever, they're just temporary. They're distractions. And we will move higher. And that's exactly what it's looking like. We got, again, 7 days until the inauguration. We got 7 days until all the big crypto initiatives start getting placed. And then, you know what? It could be absolutely crazy. And if you look at the chart, same thing. After the first 2 weeks of January, this happened in 2024. This happened in 2021. This happened in 2017. After the first few weeks in January, after a big correction, then you have explosive breakout. And this next one could carry us to 123,000. And maybe even beyond that, to 137,000 if we're looking at some of these Fibonacci points. It's going to be pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. What else is there? XRP is still holding pretty darn strong. Continues to move upwards, and there are so many news about XRP and the new stable coin from Ripple. And you know what? It seems like banks are still considering them. I don't know how many there are, but according to their president, Monica Long, 15 of the 25 largest banks have already piloted the tokenized asset project, right? This has been talked about for a long time, but you got credit card companies. You also have XRP Ledger moving in a different direction, supporting smart contracts, supporting memes, probably AI soon, and RWA. So it goes beyond just a network for banks, right? And XRP Army is still predicting that there will be a historic breakout of XRP compared to Bitcoin, right? This is probably the year we see XRP finally break through its 2018 high. XRP Army has been waiting for 7 years, and I think they will be rewarded this year, especially with the SEC off their backs. And then lastly, Sony launches their own blockchain, Sonium, although it seems like it's very centralized because they're blacklisting meme coins they don't like. I don't even know how that's possible. If you launch a chain, how do you blacklist the memes that you don't like? But they figured it out. I don't know what it is with Sony. I'm not a big fan of Sony. Besides PS5, I feel like they have nothing going for them. That's just my opinion. I'm pretty sure they have a lot going for them, but like for me, I'm not a fan of their TVs. I'm not a fan of PS5. I'm not a fan of anything that Sony does. All right. Outside of that, that's pretty much it. We got a lot of great things happening, guys. That's why you never want to give up. You want to continue to hodl, and you want to buy the dips when you can, because dips are gifts. And look at all the green that we have today. Even ETH is up 6%, XRP is up 6%, Solana's up 8%, Doge is up almost 10%, Avalanche 7%, Sui 5%. Got a good recovery day, and it could just be the beginning. All right, let's do Q&A. I just caught this video right here. I just saw this. Tom Lee says Bitcoin's going to be the one of the best performing assets this year. It's not going to be one of the best. It's going to be the best. Tom Lee is very bullish on Bitcoin as well. All right. Let me see if I missed any chats. Johnny McGirdle, if it's the best, why buy alts? Because alts do not compete with Bitcoin. That's why. It's like saying, well, if you hold gold, you shouldn't hold Meta, or you shouldn't hold MicroStrategy. No, they're two different things. Anything outside of Bitcoin, all alts are considered technology. Technology project, technology companies. They could do well, but they could always be replaced with something better. That's why you got to be careful. You got to look at the trends and look at what's happening. But Bitcoin, nothing's ever going to replace Bitcoin, ever. So this came out today. Less than expected. This is good. Tomorrow, we will get a CPI reading. And if the CPI also shows that inflation is less than expected, then I think markets are going to skyrocket. Today's a recovery day, but tomorrow, if we get better news, it's going to be really good. Really good. How many of you guys are addicted to Costco? When I get really bored, I just go to Costco for no reason. Even though I don't buy anything, I just like to walk around Costco for whatever reason. The Costco effect is real. Everything online, did you buy the? I always buy the dip. Even when when I shouldn't buy the dip, I do. See, if you go, Nico, if you go during the day and you don't go on the weekends, it's not crowded. The problem is you don't want to go on the weekend. Everyone goes on the weekend because that's usually when they're off. But if you go in the middle of the afternoon on like a Tuesday, there's like no one there. But I guess most people can't do that. Am I into Pokemon? No, I'm not in Pokemon. Retro Bill says, I missed yesterday's dip because Dummy's calling for 70K. Well, then who's the dummy? Them calling for it or you listening to it? Whenever we dip, it always seems like there's people that come out and say, well, we'll go to 70, we'll go to like 60, or there's a CME gap that we didn't fill, blah, 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 blah. Everyone's just guessing. No one really knows what's going on. But long term, I think we all know that Bitcoin's going to go higher. But short term, everyone's just like guessing, like throwing out random numbers. And there's always fudders that try to spread their misery. Michael, years upon years, probably like 4 or 5 years. Soul, good recovery. Sui's a little stagnant, but that's a good thing. Usually it does that before it starts skyrocketing. XRP, like almost 260. XRP is just like, it's like a rock these days. It just keeps on ticking upwards. It's not too far off from its, $3 mark. Algo coming up a little bit, 7% today. Do you think we'll see another big leg down tomorrow? I don't because of the inflation reading today. I don't think tomorrow we're going to see like inflation number go out of control because PPI went up, but it's lower than expectation. So whatever the expectation is for CPI, it's probably going to be less than that. Let's see if I get it. Yeah, here we go. See, here we go. Okay, so tomorrow CPI will come out right at market open. Expectation is CPI will go up or inflation will go up by 0.2%. That's already expectation. So if tomorrow we get a CPI reading of 2.8%, which still shows inflation going up, but less than expected, we're going to get a good rally. And if it comes in at 2.7%, where we didn't go up at all, then we're going to get a crazy rally. So that's the thing. So it's already baked in that we're going to tick higher, just like today. PPI was baked in that we would go up by 0.4%, but we only went up 0.2%. That's why it was good. Tomorrow will be the same thing. Now, there's a chance, of course, we do tick up to 2.9%, or we even go higher. We go 3%. Then that would be very bad. Then that would be bad. Watch, it will be 3.5%. I think they wouldn't even publish it if it was. They would just fudge the numbers and say 3 or something. They would not allow a 3.5% to get announced if that was the case. Oliver, a $25 realistic price for Sui or too bullish? I think not bullish enough. I think Sui could go a lot higher than that. Best case scenario for BTC's price on inauguration day. I mean, we could be at like, we could be at all-time high. We could be at like 110 or something. I think that's possible. Can you check out the metrics on Hedera? What kind of metrics? Like TVL? I know TVL on Hedera is not good. It's never been good. Yeah, 170 million. It is going up, but 170 million TVL for such a large chain is not it's not good. It's not a good ratio. That needs to go up. I've never been a big fan of Hedera. I've always said like there's not a whole lot going on, and there still isn't. But what's caused the recent momentum is, of course, they're American based. They're working with Doge. They're working with the new administration. There could be a new digital ID system coming aboard. So obviously they rolled the momentum up. And Karate Combat is on Hedera. And so those are good things. But in terms of like, you know, drawing the dApps and DeFi and stable coins and stuff, they're still behind. Am I into luxury watches? I have a few. I haven't gone crazy and bought like a Richard Mille or something like that. But I have a few. Yeah, that reminds me. Yes, Chase said it. We could get a Hedera ETF, although I don't think that's going to be the case. Not before Solana ETF or XRP ETF. We're coming down a little bit. Let's see. MicroStrategy is up 4%. Hood is up 6%, 7%. Hood actually been pretty strong, even though they just settled with the SEC yesterday. I have some options on Hood, so I'm pretty sure they're doing well. They're at like a all-time high. MicroStrategy up a little bit, but doesn't. They're still nowhere close to their previous high of right here, 475. You need to get back to the 400s. And Coinbase still far off from their 343 high. So MicroStrategy, Coinbase, still great. Great DCA opportunities, and I think Robinhood will do well. Oh, too bad. GME is up. I do not follow GameStop, so I do not care. Whatever happened to Roaring Kitty? Is he still making streams? I have no idea. I have not been following that at all. Chainlink had a good recovery. Man, Chainlink dropped down to... They had a little scam wick down here at 17. Man, that's over 10% recovery from yesterday. But overall, Chainlink has become quite stagnant. You could see they haven't really climbed back up, but hey, they will. One of the premier RWA plays and American-based projects. AVAX kind of the same thing. Chainlink and AVAX kind of look this similar. I think They could be recovering in a big way. Um, like Uniswap. Uniswap kind of same pattern. Aave kind of same pattern. Kind of all following Bitcoin at this point. But there are a few standouts. VeChain, Injective are pretty similar. Alexander says, you guys forgot that Trump says he wants to make America the number one at Bitcoin mining. That's going to be tough because China leads mining, but it could happen. US is number 2. It's not far off. A lot of states like Texas really embrace it already. Should I, King Iron asks, should I load up on BTC or XRP? You know what? You can't go wrong on either. Or both. You don't have to just go one. You could spread it out 50-50 into both. But I've always said this, it doesn't matter if you're like starting out or you're a pro. I think a good makeup, I guess a portfolio makeup is 50% in Bitcoin, 25% in big caps, 25% in small caps. So 50% in Bitcoin, and then 25% in your case could be XRP, and then the remaining 25% could be anything else. G Sing, if you don't know what an ETF is, go Google it. Probably not asking people to explain in the chat is optimal. What do you think about XCDC? They seem to be getting some traction. XCDC is interesting because they're not American based. They're not on Coinbase. But they are ISO compliant, and you know they're L1. I've never really covered them, but they're like the ISO 20022 compliant, which isn't a big deal. A lot of chains can be compliant, they just haven't announced it. But XDC is one of those that did announce it, and they're not bad. 1.5 billion, but they're not on Coinbase. They're not even on Binance. So they're not far off from their 2021 high either. They still got to go about 50%. Donnie, I'm not going to check out that meme coin. Even though it's a good name, but I'm not going to check it out. XDC at BlackRock, Buildo fund raising $5 million. That's good stuff. I forgot where they're out of. I think like UK or something. This is a weird picture right here. There's no need to have this picture on the front page. EVM compatible. A lot of this weird art. I think they need to redesign their webpage. They don't need all this weird artsy stuff. It's like religion or something. Why, based Arcane, why is AI XBT fairly high with virtuals being relatively low? I have no idea what you're talking about. What happened to Yearn Finance? I think it just went away because Andre Cronje started concentrating on Phantom, which is now Sonic. He's the founder of both. Sonic just rebranded, or Phantom just rebranded as Sonic, and it's supposed to be a lot faster. A lot faster, still EVM. It has a bridge and a whole bunch of other stuff. But look at this. A lot of exchanges did not support the conversion. You don't even see Coinbase on here. Coinbase didn't support the conversion. Or was Phantom never on Coinbase? I'm pretty sure it was on Coinbase. Yeah, I don't even see Coinbase listed. I don't even see Binance listed. A lot of exchanges didn't support the conversion. That's weird. That's really weird. I didn't even notice that. You know what we could ask? Oh, by the way, if you guys haven't been following me again, Cryptos Are Us on Twitter, you guys need to do so because it's like just so good. It's really good. A lot of stuff I cover, a lot of stuff I don't even cover, like all the breaking news and clips and interviews and even political stuff. I mean, it's really good, guys. If you don't follow my Cryptos Are Us Twitter, but you should. But there's also a new one. It just got announced. Cryptos Are Us Clips. CRU Clips. It's a separate Twitter channel that is focused just on video clips and clips from me. So it's going to be really good. I need to put this new one in my description. Actually, I'm going to do that. So make sure you guys follow both. Okay, I just added a description. All right, what else is there? Why don't I like Anchor? It's just, I don't know, it's not interesting. Reza, I already covered that last night, man. You don't need to keep shilling it. You need to start watching more of my videos. Or follow me on Twitter because I already covered that as well. Nigel, appreciate that. Man, I'm excited. I'm gonna pick up my Cybertruck in about 2 hours. I got all my accessories and stuff. I'm just wondering what, and I got my wrap or PPF that's coming in. I don't know what to do about the wheels. If I should just stick with the stock wheels and tires for now and then wait until better weather. Jason, I appreciate that. I've driven it before. I did a test drive. The all-wheel steering feels weird. It feels really weird when you're turning, but it makes crazy tight turns, especially for such a big car like that. Alyssa, appreciate it. I was bashing the Cybertruck before, but you know, like I said, 50% likes it, 50% hate it, but it'll be a good, I think it'll be a good daily driver, and it's a good business vehicle. So I bought it right before the year end, so it'll be a big tax deduction for me too. No, it's brand new, Charlie. I'm hoping because I had to wait like, you know, a few weeks before I could schedule delivery, which means that they actually had to build it, which means it wasn't ones that was sitting on the lot. So I'm hoping they like upgraded and fixed it with a few things. I don't know. Yeah, I am going to wrap it for sure. Scrappy, is now the time to start buying memes again? Probably not. It's still a little too early. I'd say after Bitcoin breaks 100K, memes will get hot again. Right now, memes are also a little bit weaker because AI agents. Everyone is trying to come out with AI agent and is stealing the thunder a little bit. But I think that's going to cool off and fatigue. I've said that in my Sunday walk video. And then memes will still be a huge part of the cycle, no doubt about it. I'll show you guys a picture, by the way. I can't get it. Never mind. All right, guys. I think time to call it a day here. BYD cars are dominating. Yeah, I hear like in Asia, China, BYD is dominating, but people still buy Tesla because it's for the name. Today overall, guys, pretty darn good. Almost back to 97,000. This is why you want to ignore the FUD and DCA when you can. Today we got some good economic data. Inflation is less than expected. We also got this big rumor that Meta may be buying Bitcoin, which I think is going to be reality because just look at Mark's actions recently. So that's it, guys. Be strong, and I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care.